What's up, everybody? J-Heat Sports Media coming at y'all again with that fire as always. Spitting the hot topics and getting the sports conversation started. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Football, basketball, and boxing. Let's get to it. All right, so we on the subject of basketball, professional basketball, the NBA. We getting close to the playoffs. Got less than 10 games to play for most teams, and the Milwaukee Bucks are on the clock. Want to talk about the Bucks? They made a coaching change in the middle of the season, replacing Griffin for Doc Rivers, giving Doc yet another chance to add to his legacy, which has been up and down. He was named one of the greatest coaches of all time during the 75-year tribute, which I do believe overall you have to say he is. But he's had some struggles as of late that can be attributed to him as a coach. And the Milwaukee Bucks have been put together to win a championship. Bringing Dame Dollar over was supposed to mean championship. But the Celtics answered and called their bet. Got Porzingis, Holiday over there, and they've been humming. Even with the loss of Marcus Smart, they've seemed to have upgraded in Boston and look like the best team possibly in the NBA, definitely in the East. Definitely the best record, no question. They'll have home court throughout the playoffs. But the Milwaukee Bucks were supposed to be a team that was right there with the Boston Celtics, because we all once upon a time, which isn't too once upon a time ago, had Giannis Antetokounmpo as arguably the best player on the planet before Jokic stole the scene last year. And people still, some would say Giannis is right there in that picture. He's easily top 5, but a lot of people would have him in the top 2 players in the world. And with the championship that they won back in 2021 and looking to add to that, to add to Giannis's legacy, because he has a legacy that could put him arguably for his career's over in the top 10 players all time. But he needs some rings to go along with his individual hardware. And Dame Lillard needed to win in the playoffs to add to his legacy. We know what he is as a scorer, making players better, his passing ability, his range, Dame time, we know what that's about. But Dame time has ended early year after year with losses to the Golden State Warriors and other teams in the West. And now Dame had his opportunity to be the number 2, be the Kobe to Giannis's Shaq, and take over. But their offense, while it was instantly great, their defense wasn't quite what we used to seeing from the Milwaukee Bucks. The real problem is they got rid of Budenholzer, in my opinion. He delivered a defensive squad year after year for the most part. And that defensive identity, it wasn't just that they lost Holiday, but they lost Budenholzer. And Griffin was able to bring offense, which isn't hard because the team had already had guys that had played together. And not to say, I'm not trying to take complete credit away from Griffin. He helped them with their offense to keep it going. But they had chemistry already, and Dame Lillard's going to add offense to any squad. But the defense suffered, and even though they were a top-ranked team in terms of record, there was question marks of can they beat the Celtics? Can they beat the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series? And so in comes Doc Rivers to the rescue. Hasn't quite been to the rescue as of yet. And that's a tough task for anybody to come in mid-season when you already got a game plan in place and try to turn everything around. But the fact of the matter is, in the last 11 games, Milwaukee has 6 losses and only 5 wins. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games, so they're moving in the wrong direction headed to the playoffs. Can they turn it on when it's time? We'll have to see. Doc Rivers with a team can win games. I don't put all his coaching woes against him, but he's had some X's and O's problems at times. But the Clippers not winning a championship with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin when you had Oklahoma City and San Antonio in the West, can't put that all on Doc. Teams were more talented than his team. The 76ers, while you can put some blame on James Harden for not showing up in big moments, I think Embiid still owes us some big moments in the playoffs too. So not all Doc. And we know the Ben Simmons saga over there when he was there. That being said, Doc Rivers is still judged by championships because the squad is loaded in Milwaukee. They got a championship talented roster. So what will they do? Can they compete? I feel just on the strength of Giannis and Dame, they will get to the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston. They'll hold on to that 2 or 3 seed, and they'll make it all the way to the conference finals to play Boston. But that's not good enough for this team. Can they beat Boston? We'll have to see. Let me know what y'all think about it. And if Doc Rivers doesn't get this done after next year, or let's say going into next year, should he be on the hot seat immediately? I don't think you can get rid of him when you brought him in mid-season, regardless of the outcome this year. And I mean regardless, even if they lose in the first round. But I do think it's safe to say after having half a season and coming in with an off season next year and a whole year next year, if they don't win the chip this year, it's championship or bust, and Doc might be on an immediate hot seat because the clock's ticking for Giannis and Dame. All right, that's all the time I got. Y'all know what it is, and you know who you looking for. J Heat Sports Media. Remember to like, subscribe, or get at me in the comments. Let's go back and forth. Look for me on YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok.